Why is it important to consider the issue of education in U.S. schools compared to that of other nations? Knowing where our nation ranks against other countries in regard to anything is important, especially as technology becomes more prominent and more globalization is occurring. Striving to maintain intelligence among our country's populace is something that is becoming more and more important, even at the elementary level, since the students that we are teaching are going to be competing for jobs on a global market. It is also important to take into consideration the amount of money being spent by our economy compared to other countries. For instance, although the U.S. consistently ranks in the 20s among expertise in school subjects, the place where we outrank our competition is in expenditures. The USA spends just over $129,000 per student, while other countries average $95,000. Another interesting thing to consider is where our teachers' salaries rank among the rest of the world. Pay attention to the first pink line, stemming from the first box labeled United States on the left. According to this infographic, published by the Future Journalism Project, of the countries listed, American primary teachers spend the most time working, but are the 5th lowest paid. And in Finland, which was dubbed the #1 country in education by Newsweek in 2010, teachers work the 5th lowest hours, but their salary after 15 years is still higher than that of U.S. teachers. That's definitely some food for thought. The myth of America's glory days is just that, a myth. It turns out that America never was #1 in education. Although many Americans grow up hearing stories of the days when the USA was the greatest nation on earth, the truth, according to Tom Loveless, author of a report from the nonprofit Brookings Institution, is that the United States never led the world. It was never #1 and has never been close to #1 on international math tests or on science tests for that matter. The fact is, America has actually made some significant gains in education. Program for International Student Assessment Tests saw score increases of up to 13 points between 2006 and 2009. One Stanford University researcher pointed out that if this pattern of gains continues, our country's education goals could be met far ahead of schedule. An increase of 25 points on PISA over the next 20 years would boost United States GDP by $41 trillion. Since Finland is purported to be the #1 school in the world, it makes sense that there are some things to be learned from the Finnish school system. CBS News suggests that shorter breaks and longer school years may be the answer, since teachers spend up to 6 weeks reteaching what kids forgot over the summer. Despite having shorter breaks from school, Finnish children spend the fewest hours in the classroom in the developed world. Finnish children enter the school system at age 7 so that they are keen to start learning. Students are also with the same teacher for several years, and often don't have to make the disruptive transition between elementary and middle grades, since primary and secondary schooling occur in the same building. Burridge also suggests that the education system's success in Finland stems partially from their culture. Teaching is a prestigious career in Finland. Teachers are highly valued and teaching standards are high. Education consultant Mark Schneider concurs, saying that the most important ingredient in what works is the quality of a student's teacher. And top-performing countries take the top-performing teachers in their class. In addition, the culture of Finland is relatively more uniform than that of the diverse American culture. According to Good Education, while Finland may have some programs America could emulate, it is not a reasonable example for America for the very reason that we celebrate diversity among our large population. Personally, I think that the quality of a student's teacher is extremely important. I also think that implementing shorter breaks from school is an idea that is worth looking into. It's possible that our education system has fallen on old norms and could use a change in structure. It is also worth keeping in mind that although our country's test scores may be mediocre, they have still shown improvement in the past few years, which is a good sign, and fuel that teachers can use as motivation to achieve their highest quality teaching, and to one day hopefully propel our country into the ranks of the top nations in education.